Brother and sister from Nephi caught in the deadly tragedy there in South Korea that killed over 150 people. A massive crowd tried pushing its way through a narrow street during a Halloween celebration yesterday.
Well, people started to fall, causing more and more to go down as the crowd surged from behind. And now a memorial is growing near the site of the tragedy as city residents mourn those who were lost. Almost all of the victims are reported to be in their late teens or 20s.
And that includes the children of a Nephi family who's holding on to each other a lot closer tonight after getting word about the deadly stampede.
News specialist Shelby Lofton is live in Nephi. And Shelby, you talked to the mom of these siblings struck in that crowd.
Yeah, Dan and Debbie, Jelena Warner told me she got a call about this deadly stampede around noon Utah time, and that was the early morning hours back in South Korea. And she told me she felt helpless, waiting to hear back from her children who had gone out to celebrate Halloween and ended up narrowly escaping a tragedy. It's a peaceful Sunday in Nephi, but last night was a nightmare for Jelena Warner.
It's hard when there's a tragic event like that and that you know your kids were there and you can't reach them.
Her daughter, 26-year-old Reagan, is a teacher in South Korea. She traded the quiet roads of her hometown for the narrow, high-traffic streets of Seoul.
And she fell in love with the culture. She loves K-pop.
Her brother Rain was visiting her. They went out in costume to celebrate Halloween with thousands of other people, many of them their own age.
It's a street celebration, and they went on Friday night, and she had been the last 3 years. They went on Friday night, and there's restaurants, there's dance clubs, there's music.
The Halloween event turned into a real-life horror when the crowd swelled and people were crushed. Thousands of miles away, Warner said she wasn't aware of what was happening until her mother called.
I could hear the panic in her voice, and she said, "You need to call your kids. It's all over the news."
What they witnessed haunts them.
She said you could not move, and she really felt like if they had been any further in, they would have been separated.
Packed in shoulder to shoulder, Rain and Reagan were able to find their way out of the crowd.
Just seeing the people doing CPR on others and injured, and even, the dead lying, it's just something I think they won't soon forget.
Her children made it back to their Airbnb, but they're thinking of the families who will never hear back from their loved ones.
They were all just kids there to enjoy Halloween and celebrate and have a good time.
And Warner told me her children are safe and they are together. Her son Rain will be back here in Utah on November 8th. And she said that will be a sweet homecoming reunion. But they are thinking of all of the families who won't be reunited with their children after this deadly disaster.